Hi everyone, and this tutorial is going to be a spring basket. It's going to be something that's quite natural, fairly limited flowers and foliage, making use of some of the blossom that's around at the moment. I have to say that I'm quite into baskets at the moment. I think I keep seeing them and imagining, because they're rustic, they lend themselves, I think, to more natural organic designs, which is kind of perfect, I suppose, for the style that we're working in. So yeah, this is quite a shallow basket that I'm using. It's around 40 centimetres in length, and it's one that I've had for a long time. I normally put posies of lavender in it when I had the shop, so it's got a little bit of hessian still tied on there as well. So I'm going to create a little bit of a spring basket. I'm going to look at the shape. So the shape is going to be still a bit triangular, so a little bit traditional, but then soften down with the foliages and the flowers that we're going to work with to create this. So let's just have a look really at what you need. So a basket, you don't need to fill the whole of the basket. I'll leave that up to you, how creative you want to be, but you definitely need a pot or a container inside. And I found this one here. It wasn't going to be the one originally I was going to use, but it works just as well. I'm going to just utilise moss in this, so I'm not going to be using any kind of main mechanics like chicken wire, although of course you could if you want to help stabilise things and you don't have the moss. But in which case you just need to think of how you're going to cover up this container. So whether you can put some sort of other bulbs or things going through. You don't want it becoming too bitty, but or maybe you can have a little bit more foliage in yours, but don't make it too dense when you're thinking of covering up your mechanics. If you've got bark, you could always nestle your pot into the bark and try to build up, and then just allow the leaves and things to come around that top edge to cover that up. If you're using chicken wire, you could do it lower, and of course you could always put a pin frog inside as well to hold the twigs and everything in place, allowing you to have a lower tub in there. So you could cut down some kind of plastic container that you've got, or just find a bowl or something that you can utilise. This bowl's quite good because it's got straight sides and then just down into the centre rather than the curved sides. So something like that works okay. You can, of course, if you prefer, you can always use a small tray and utilise, so this is a floral fibre, and utilise sort of half a block of that and tape it into the tray, and then you could nestle this in, just making sure that you again keep it quite sturdy, maybe with some bark going around it, or like I say, or some moss or anything really. You might have a bunch of cones that you could fill in the kind of the outside, but something natural that's not going to compete with your overall design. So I've got some moss for mine. I haven't got enough moss to fill the whole basket, but I've got enough just to disguise the pot, so it's not in show. The other things I've got is obviously my snippers. I've got a little kebab stick again, one of my favourite mechanic or tools, I think, to make the holes to insert everything in. I've got a little bit of water ready to put that, and then I've just got, of course, got my twigs and a little bit of foliage and my flowers, which I'll talk about in the next tutorial.